Today, I want to talk about the real struggles of being design student abroad or any international student. Everyone sees the beautiful parts, the travel, the architecture, the studio photos, or the design student living in Europe kind of life. But what they don't see is how hard it can actually be. And I remember when I first time came to Spain, I honestly felt nothing. Not excitement, not fear. It was a very strange calm, and I wonder why it was like that. I think I was just trying to ignore my emotions and just focus on reaching home safely and figuring things out and maybe trying to adapt to this different country. And I remember the first time I went to Segovia, the city I lived in for first 2 years here. The city was so beautiful. It was like a painting. I was amazed, but also a bit homesick. Um, that was the first time I really felt what it means to live away from the family. It was confusing because I was feeling excitement and emptiness at the same time. And honestly, I didn't know how to process it. So, what I did, I just lived through it, and slowly the emotions started processing themselves. The bigger surprise was, though, how practical design was here. And back in India, I was more of a science nerd, so I hadn't studied design formally. I used to read, paint, and think about systems, but I didn't know the methods and the tool, like the formal way of studying design. When I came here, suddenly design wasn't just ideas, it was more of like proper work or deadlines or softwares or presentations, especially the presentations. I remember them during the first time I was overwhelmed and frustrated because it was something very new to me. And but it was like it was exciting, but damn overwhelming. Yes. And yet I loved it. I was ambitious. I had waited for this moment for so long to leave my comfort zone and prove to myself that I could do this. But ambition can sometimes make you blind to how hard things really are. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. That depends how you look at it. I remember my first year, my English wasn't great, and I used to think three times before saying a single sentence. I remember my accent was so strong, and I was so conscious about it. It made communication so difficult that I knew I had ideas, but I couldn't express them clearly, not the way I wanted. So that was very frustrating. And honestly, being misunderstood in class or even just feeling like you are not being heard, it's one of the hardest part of studying abroad. But I kept adapting. I tried my best. I learned to be open, to listen more, to communicate better. And I also noticed how different the design culture is across places. In India, design is often more theoretical, from what I have experienced. In Singapore, it's intense and technology driven. And in Spain, it's conceptual, human, and very collaborative. And I think that combination of experience really shaped me who I am today. And of course, there were nights when I was just working whole night until the mornings. I had days where I felt alone, disconnected, and just tired. And but that's also how I learned to love solitude. Just be okay with my own company and enjoy it. And there were times when everything was so hard, but you know what helped me the most? Friends. Yes. Making good friends who understands you, what you are going through, or they also feel the same, that changes everything. Because there were days you cover for them, and there are days they cover for you, and those friendships become your home away from home. And the funny thing is, once you stay long enough, the place actually becomes home. Then when you go back to your real home, you start missing this one. And it's funny and ironic, but it's kind of beautiful too. And if you're thinking of studying abroad, or especially design, here's what I'll tell you: be ready to change. Things won't always go your way. You'll make mistakes, you'll feel lost, you'll feel lonely, but that's part of the process. The more mistakes you make, the more you grow. And the biggest thing I've learned is adaptability. If you can adapt, you can survive anywhere, anywhere in this world. Be open minded, be humble, be kind. Don't overcomplicate things unnecessarily. Clarity and kindness go a long way when you live alone in a different country. Just be direct, be open about things. And maybe don't overthink all, like everything. Don't overthink it. I've learned that sometimes thoughtlessness, just letting things be, can make your life very easier because you don't have to control every outcome. You just have to keep showing up, and that's the most important part. So yeah, studying abroad isn't easy, but it's definitely worth it. You learn more about people, about world, and most importantly about yourself. And I think the most important part of the whole life and even this journey is getting to understand yourself better. So yeah, thank you.